I'll open the Q&A. So I don't know if you guys can see the Q&A section. It's in chat. There we go.
Let me just start off by saying, no, we're not building Jaws.
No, they're doing Shrek for the. Oops. Sorry.
Yeah, so we'll wait a
I was on mute.
bit for them to be upvoted and stuff, right?
Yeah. So I'll start. So wait, let's order it by upvotes. There we go. Okay, so let's start with the Cedars question. So if you could add any feature on Roblox, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
10,000 player servers.
Ooh. That's some good questions. I should let someone else answer. I have to think about it.
Better VR support.
They are actually adding it. So Brad, who's actually been experimenting with it, yeah, like VR support was horrible because I think it was just basically a remapped controller. It was just a remapped controller input, and for example, jumping was almost impossible. I had to like manually jump with the keyboard. But yeah, I think VR is really cool. For example, I love writing my rides in VR and seeing how overscaled I make my stuff. But yeah. Okay,
this
so
is
yeah?
tough. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. A feature that I think would be probably one of my favorites is, of course, just more support with video frames. It's something I've been wanting on Roblox for a while. Now that it's finally here, it's really cool. But the fact how it's just kind of just sitting on the platform, not doing anything, kind of sucks. Yeah, I would love to see more support there and seeing all the things people do with it.
Okay, so Seabass asks, I see a lot of people in the community now get caught up in toxic one-upmanship and drama. So what is your advice to new developers to avoid these kinds of issues? I think so. One of the things is one of the aspects that Grepy brought up, and I think it all falls back to one concept, which is ego. People are have very big ego, and I think they just need to like don't think you're the best or that you'll be the next universal, because to be honest, it's especially right now, like when we started doing our projects, Roblox was much smaller. There was less things to choose from. Like, I'm not saying you can't be as successful as some groups are, but I think it's don't try to do something because you want to be the new universal, the new magic, the new like Roblox point. Just try to do things because like you want to do them, and it's like you try to do your best, but don't think you're the best, because it's like
Yeah.
control your ego. I think that's one of the biggest problems there is.
Yeah, and if you're going to create a team, you have to have a diverse team when it comes to what each individual does. So in our team, we have maybe at most 2 to 3 builders with maybe somebody else that we can hire for specific projects. But then Tapal does the scripting, Simon does the graphics, the videos, and all that, and we all let each other do our own work. So that eventually the overall project is actually completed. Because if not, we'll just be at each other's throats for every single little detail.
I guess another thing that can help with staying away from drama is just do your own thing and have fun. I mean, if you're not taking theme parks seriously or just want to just have fun, just go for it. Like, stay away from Discord, other things, and just have fun. Because just by doing that alone, like, it just makes the whole development process a lot more enjoyable. And honestly, if that's what you want, guys, if that's what you want to do, then just do it.
Okay, so Waldo asks, what do you think about the obsession of people of recreating rights? I think recreating rights is as equally valid as doing custom rights.
Yeah.
Custom rights are like it's really cool to see some things. For example, Disneyland Wales, for example, has really cool rides. I think which like some of them are really nice. I've seen other like custom, for example, Movie Park has interesting rides. But I think it's again to what like Progo said. Do just what you want. Like don't do things because others tell you to do that, or because or don't do things. Don't like not do things because others may think something of you. I think recreating rides it's good because it's a way of saying, oh look, I really like this. I would like to. It's a way of like showing your respect for it in a way.
Right, and I love recreating stuff. That's why the 2 projects that I've finished are recreations. But I taught myself development through recreating rides, and it's a learning process. And I mean, it's not it's definitely not easy creating your own thing, and that's why it's not very common for people to do that. Um, and you can learn through just recreating rides. And I know people talk about like, oh, you're recreating the same ride I'm recreating. Why would you copy me? And like, it's like that's kind of a dumb way of thinking. Like, it's not even your original idea in the first place, so it shouldn't matter. But um, I think I really like the idea of people recreating rides because it like Roger said, it shows how much you love the ride and like how important it is to you and how you're motivated to recreate that. And it, like through the process of doing that, it's almost harder in a way, because you have to meet a certain standard of the ride. Like if you're trying to recreate something, you have to meet, it has to look like that ride. So you have to teach yourself along the process of creating it, like how to bend corners to make sure that your final product looks as close as it can to the real thing. When you like when on the other hand, and you're not recreating something that's straight off your head, you can make compromises, and to make it easier, which you can't do when you're recreating a ride.
Okay, so this I think is an interesting question. Ghosting Pungo asks, I worry about getting sued. Uh, so in my case, especially because like Disney, we can say is a bit more hard in this case. But so I think in a way we all accept that if we're using someone else's, like I know for example, Universal Roblox has been like moving away from copyright a lot. But when recreating something that you're using like an IP or assets from someone else, like you always have to know that there's a chance that the game gets taken down. You won't get sued because of the way like Roblox. So I mean, you may get sued, but it's like you will probably just get a DMCA, which would just like
Yeah.
close a game. I think it's just accepting the fact that it may happen. Like my advice is just don't try to like get money out of something that is not yours. I'm not saying that that will make it so you don't get your game removed, but it's like um there's always the chance that it can happen. I think it's just that we've accepted it.
Yeah, like I remember when the Pokemon thing happened, and they got rid of that game. I remember the next day, me and the pub were talking. We're like, "All right, we gotta get rid of, Nintendo. We gotta get rid of everything."
Yeah. One thing I think everyone should know when they're starting developing something, don't do Nintendo stuff. You're gonna get closed out.
Yeah, I would also say, in a convoluted way, Universal is fine with us.
However,
all I'll say.
regardless if they're fine, we are, as we've mentioned, I don't know, like a month or two ago, I don't know how long it was, that we are slowly removing all of the Universal branding, the Universal Studios branding, and we're getting away from any soundtrack that we haven't made ourselves. So it's an ongoing process right now. So, but yeah, we're moving away from the IP stuff just because we want the game to live on, even when we're done with it. We don't want it to get taken down and then it's gone forever. So
It also allows to make custom stuff.
oh yeah, and there's a lot of benefits too, but everyone will see those when we get to it.
Yeah, they're going to Shrek 5D now.
Ah yes, the 5D Shrek.
So Bay Developer asks, what is your favorite non-famous theme park?
Movie park.
I need to find this one moment.
I mean, real life or Roblox parks? Because I don't know enough in real life parks that aren't.
I think Roblox ones.
Roblox parks.
I do like movie park by Dipus, I think.
Yeah, I think one that I really like. So for example, there's one called Bloxneyland, which I think is like it's a bit because the rides aren't that good, but building wise, like the lands and thing, I find it really nice. It's a really nice thing. And for example, there's another project which is still not open, and I think it's really interesting, which is that Europa Park recreation, which looks really interesting. So
I haven't paid attention enough to know. I should probably look at theme park stuff more often on Roblox. I kind of fell off, I guess.
I guess probably one of my favorites, and it's outdated now and doesn't work, but it was made by Moon or One Wolf One Person. It's a Auto World theme park too, and I honestly, it's like one of the first theme park games I played on Roblox. Even though it's not being updated, it is still one of my favorite games to look back at because I always thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah, the things she does are amazing. It's like, if there's something that is a bit like crazy that you think would be cool to build, she has probably done it already. So for example, there's the park called Hell, which I know people like. I don't know if
I
Logan
think
is
it's
in the chat.
insane.
I don't know if Logan is in the chat, but I know Logan loves that one. But yeah, that's another also really cool. Right, 1 second. So, this is another interesting question. So, Puff the Pug asks, what ride did you stop? Sorry, what ride did you build a lot of and then stop?
I'm not gonna say the name of it, but it goes vroom vroom multiple times.
I was thinking about that specific thing.
It's a bit of an adventure
Oh,
with features that are magical. Not
And you
sure
could
if
say
guys
you could
get
say
what
it's a
I'm saying.
magical experience.
It's a magical experience adventure on a motorbike. That's all I was saying.
minutes.
With one of the coolest trains ever.
Oh,
And it's not opening. Let me just put the disclaimer. It's not happening anymore. It was happening.
Epic. Yeah.
Sorry. I was just gonna say,
Defend
was-
yourself, the pub.
yeah, I have to be careful. No, it was like, it was a rushed build, and it is like we put parts together, and there it is, and we haven't done any work on it. It was like a lot of work, but not a lot of work, you know. Like we
Yeah,
finished a
Nicole's right, though.
prototype. We finished a prototype, and we haven't finished anything at the same time. I don't know how to explain that.
The thing is, it was during COVID, like at the beginning of the pandemic. We had just finished Alien Tech for my part, and I was bored, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll hopefully you can do it." Never happened.
So Epic asks, is there a ride or a ride model you would really want to see recreated on Roblox?
Rise of the Resistance,
yes.
and like like a really good one.
I agree with that.
I would love to do that one, but I think, for example, so it's again one of the things about like planning your projects before that we're talking about is like Rise of the Resistance would be great to do in Roblox, and most of it can be done. But for example, the scenes like the exit scene, so the final scene when you
Yeah.
like go down, that one would be a technical nightmare in a way.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, technically you could like build it like physically, but again, it would be a technical nightmare and stuff. For example, I don't think there's enough audio uploaded. Like for example, another ride I would love to do is a runaway railway. I find it really cool.
that would be
um,
really hard to create without videos.
Yeah, and that's, for example, that's a ride that I think you would need an artist, like an actual 2D animator on your team to do it.
Yeah.
I just want to see more dark rides because I know there's a lot of coasters, but I'd love to see more dark rides because they are
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, and dark rides are really cool. I think one of the issues that like bring people like, in a way, like they're like, oh, maybe I don't want to do a dark ride, is that they require, like, I'm not saying that coasters don't, but objectively a dark ride requires much more work than a coaster.
Yeah, that's true. Just by doing Fast and Furious and stuff and like comparing it to Alien Attack, there was one that took a lot longer.
Rocket only
Yeah.
took 2 weeks.
Rocket was a very fast development process. It was kind of ridiculous.
I remember Crane was like one day, oh, look what I'm doing. And then the other day was like, oh no, I finished.
Yeah, it was literally like that. Like it was like one day he's like, I'm doing the lift till, and the next day he's already done. I'm like, all right, might as well.
And I think at the same time, we've also answered Merrick's question, which is what is something that you would love to recreate on Roblox, but are unable to do, like to that due to lack of resources, time, or any other
Same exact
preventive
answer as
factors.
the last
Yeah, I
one.
think it's these answers, like really cool rides, but again, it's like, yeah, you could do them, but it wouldn't be up to my standard, at least.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't be like I could put a bad audio, and a static figure, but it would just be wrong.
I would love to build Soarin' over California and recreate every single set, but
I mean, technically, that one is one that is doable. I mean, Brad
it's
did it.
doable.
Well, yeah,
but
time.
I have 50 million projects, a part-time job, and I'm moving too.
I
So there's that.
so badly. I think I've talked to Pro about this before. We actually, we talked about it for a while. I want to make Kong
After
because-
Spider-Man.
Right.
Like,
Right. I forgot
5
that we
months
talked
after.
about this.
5 months
I forgot
after
we
we're done
talked
with
about
it.
this. We made like
See?
prices
not
and
even not
everything.
even 2 days.
No, we had talked this probably a year ago, but I think it's honestly kind of doable. Like, because if you make it into the same way we're doing Spider-Man, where like basically the screens are just physical sets. If you just made it physical sets, I don't think it'd be too bad. But I mean, I definitely think it's doable. But I don't know if I could ever have the motivation to do that.
I
That
think right,
may-
that would be absolutely like amazing to do on Roblox. It's like the Shanghai Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my god.
What
Oh
about
my
Mystic
goodness.
Manor? That'd be kind of fun.
That is
Yeah,
doable.
that-
I would
that's-
love- that would
But
be
I mean,
incredible.
Mystic Manor is doable. I've looked
Yeah.
into like I've actually like I always before doing a ride I actually like research. Okay, so what audio do I have? Like on my computer, I have like 20, 30 giga.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have
audio.
Mystic Manor soundtracks. It's such a good soundtrack. Oh my god.
No, yeah, it's a really good. But for example, it's like it's not like the full thing. Like for example, Haunted Mansion, one of the good things that I had like very localized sound, so I can like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's not tied to like it's a one audio that I have to tie everything together.
Yeah, like I would love to do something like the Great Movie Ride, but like you can't
Mhm.
have a character on the actual ride itself and then have it go out.
I
It's a
mean,
cool idea.
I think great movie ride is actually a doable ride. It's just like animating it a lot,
It's yeah.
but it's a copyright hell. Let's say it in a way. Even worse
Yeah.
than most Disney rides.
Definitely.
I think one I'd really like to see, which I think might be doable, if I don't really remember the entire ride, but it's this the Beauty and Beast ride that opened at what park is that?
Tokyo.
years-
Tokyo Disney.
Yeah.
That's
Really, any
that's
ride's
another
in that
one.
park.
That's
Like,
another
any
one.
ride's-
That's another one. That's another one of the things of like, oh, I really want to do this. Let's do this, and then I just never do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, I think that ride is actually like quite doable
Right. Yeah. No. Honestly, yeah, that's been pretty possible.
because the thing is that for that one you could technically use audios from like the Japanese Beauty and the Beast in a way, so you could actually merge it. And the thing is, since 99% of the people wouldn't understand it, you can trick them.
I love that ride so much.
Also, the studio tour from Universal, because
Oh.
in order to do it, it will have to be like 30, 40 minutes long, and nobody's going to stay watching a virtual ride
Well,
for 30, 40 minutes.
Okay, and this is the same thing. We say this every time the studio tour gets brought up. The whole appeal of the studio tour in real life is maybe you do care about the Kong 360 or the Fast and Furious section, but if you don't care about those two sections, the whole appeal of the studio tour
Yeah.
is to go through actual the places where they actually produce these movies and film
That's
them.
a lot to build.
Right? Yeah, it's a lot to build, but also if you're doing it virtually, what is the point? You're going through fake sets that aren't even real, which I guess you could say the
Yeah,
same thing about a
exactly.
theme park, but at least it's like enjoyable and you experience the sounds and the visuals. But the studio tour, you're just going by fake sets that don't even mean anything. I don't know. It just seems kind of useless. And if it's 30 or 40 minutes long, what kind of players are going to sit through the whole thing? So,
That reminds me of the transportation game.
oh my
That-
gosh.
I remember breaking in and like stealing a bus, I think.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
That was
Yeah.
actually like the first try for player retention.
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I don't
It
really
wasn't
remember
bad.
that,
It just
but-
wasn't.
I'm
very
surprised some people
executed
have
very well.
fond memories of it. I
Yeah.
every time it gets brought up, they're like, "Oh my gosh, the transportation center!" I'm like, "What, guys? It was like a broken place where you couldn't do anything." People were like,
Just
"It
a
was
bunch of
so
roads."
good, yeah."
The thing is that kids on Roblox, the thing that they most love is driving,
Mhm.
role playing, and then building.
Right.
And so that was like two things on one. because you could roleplay that you were going to.
And also
on
breaking
vacation.
into places. Now it's not now it's not
Oh,
that
yeah.
easy. But
Allowed
I
to.
remember when I was a kid, like just putting like when there was invisible walls, just like you just found the corner between like two
Yeah.
walls, and then you
Just-
jumped. You like moved and jumped,
Oh.
and that will like make you. Yeah, so that's one of the bad things I think of like today's Roblox, which is like there's not so many bugs that you can exploit to get into places. I love
Right.
like for me, but when I was able to enter a place and they were like, "Oh no, you can't be here," like it was like they made my only objective in life to get in there.
Yeah. See, new Roblox is so lame now because we can't do things we're not allowed to. No.
I liked the idea of it though, because I remember like it made it like competitive. It's like, or at least challenging, because whenever you see someone like breaking into your game, it's like oh, now I got to fix this. Like it made it easier to spot these things. So now it's all fixed. So it's like I guess it's not.
I remember
as
Brad
fun.
was showed me it was a glitch that if you like zoomed in to like a corner in a way into like a wall, you could like
Yeah, the invisible
pass that
wall
wall
things.
thing.
The R6 characters.
Brad has, I don't know if he still has it. He had like an entire document of every single glitchable area in Universal.
He
Yeah,
sent.
he still does.
Brad sent me that too. It's hilarious.
It's
I didn't do anything about it because I knew we were gonna switch to R15, but still.
That is awesome.
It was like, it was so funny.
Okay, so let's see what other questions we have. Okay, so Cedar asks, what's your favorite upcoming Roblox theme park?
There's not that many, but I would say Crib Nation's Universal Park, definitely. I don't know of any other ones really that are in the process of being made.
I'm gonna have to say again the Europa Park one because it looks.
I have
really
not seen that
interesting.
one. I haven't seen that one.
I've seen some videos of it and it looks like really nice. Like for example, just today they posted one of the things in like creations in the coaster team, and I find it like I found it really interesting. I think it's one of these projects that you see every like 1-2 years
Mhm.
that hopefully don't die because that's another thing. 50% of your projects or more will die.
Yeah.
Where's the Peppa's Pig theme park recreation? I'm waiting for that.
It's probably
my
it's probably,
God,
it's probably
I'm-
there already.
I might go there. Should I just go there? I think I could.
Dude, it's like going like if you went to a solo day at Disney or something, and then you go into the Disney Junior dance party by yourself. That's what I would feel like going to. It's just like it's wrong. You just.
I mean,
don't do it.
technically, it will be a recreation.
Why Florida? Like, why would they build that here?
I don't know. It was a questionable decision. I know the kids' parks are necessary. Maybe it'll be
Yeah.
good. Oh, like,
I
maybe
mean,
it'll-
It's
I'm really-
$40 a day.
The kiddie coaster has a
Oh my-
launch. It has a launch.
Yeah, I don't. That is a very interesting.
Is
coaster
it
for
the tire
kids.
lounge? Because I'm gonna enter a big debate with some people.
I'm really excited for Zia Park or Zai Park.
Oh
Very
my
different
god!
Oh yeah,
I love
That-
this park. It's
Dive
Dive Park
insane.
is really interesting. But I think one of the issues that park has is performance.
Yeah, but even then, like I'm not really like focusing or paying attention too much to the performance. I'm just taking like in like how much effort is getting put into the building. Like I
right.
feel like that is like to be. It's insane. It's honestly
Yeah.
just insane.
Because
I'm still.
Snow Cat. Hey, go ahead.
You can go. You can go.
Oh, okay. Snowman Cat, he a couple months ago, he actually made a complete exact recreation of a B&M invert train, and I mean, it just shows like his detail, how much attention to detail he has, because he worked on that thing for weeks. I remember being in calls with him, and he would just nonstop be working on that thing, looking at like every inch of the train, and he has like every single detail on that ride to the T, like on that
No,
train.
yeah, and I
It's
know that
insane.
invert train, like just let me tell you something. For example, when you submit a booth to Rappa, please optimize it because that's the thing that I waste like 90% of my time in optimizing things. And his trains, like it was to a point where I was actually like moving his booth from room to room because it was just laggy.
Yeah, it's insane. It's super detailed. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think it's a bit over detailed sometimes. For
I
example,
like
one of
it.
the other things, like it's a really nice thing, but for example, something that a lot of people do when building trains is over detailing their wheels. And I'm sorry, but I think that's a big mistake. It
Yes.
people maybe but the thing is that wheels, they're like maybe like 1-2% of the people who play your game will notice them, and they will be visible for less than 5% of the time.
Yep.
So
That's
like
why.
making something which is like huge, like has a big triangle count, and doesn't have to be really big. It just like has like a substantial one. It's a waste of resources. Because the thing
Yep.
is that though that thing, even though you don't see it, will be loaded in all the time. If you're in a coaster, for example.
Mm-hmm. Somebody asked me a Spider-Man question in general. They
Up to you to
said,
answer it if you want.
yeah, it's a quick one. Are you still waiting for video frame technology, or are you doing it like an alternative like sprite sheets or stop motion? I mentioned this a little while earlier. We basically just moved on a while ago, actually, when we realized that it was going to be, we like weighed our options and noticed that it was going to be kind of bad to have video frames or anything 2D after completing the whole layout and just seeing how it looked. So we decided to just end up making everything a physical set. So
It
now
was such a tedious process.
it was yeah, it took a while, but now that we got it done, it's I love it. It looks way better than what it would have been.
Are you guys
And
building like a
awesome.
land for it, or
Like the
Like
outside of it?
yeah, like how's that gonna be?
We started doing that very, very early on. We started doing like we have the entrance and everything done, and the whole front, the queue and everything, and we have Superhero Island, like the blueprint of it basically. We have a good amount of like the facades done, at least on the Spider-Man side. We might go back to and finish that other side. I don't know, but
Got it.
it was mainly just for photos because I'm mostly focusing on the ride at this point, and we'll see where the outside of it takes us.
Talking
Okay.
about queues, I beg everyone who's here, don't use queue systems in your ride.
Oh,
Queue
that's
systems.
controversial in this call.
I've opened a Pandora's box. I know, but let me explain my point. User experience is a really important thing. So UX design, user experience design, is a really important thing when doing your game. Queues on Roblox, what, like, if you think about it, it's like, what do they bring to your game? People are like, oh no, but it brings more control so people don't jump line. The thing is that the only way you can avoid people from like jumping line at any point is controlling the character from the moment they enter the queue to the moment they ride the ride. And that includes also sitting them in the ride. And one thing that is general for like UX and things is that removing control from player's character is a really bad user experience. And the thing is that, like, if you want to have queues on Roblox to like make money selling fast pass and that, it's a valid point. But the thing is, I think people, it's like, if you do that for that, just say that you do it. Like, don't hide it saying it's like, oh no, it's because it's to have a better user experience, because it really just like worsens the user experience. So I don't know what you guys think. I've always been a really like really against the queues on Roblox, like queue systems.
I like the queues when they're used in like a moderate way, because I mean, a lot of people do like cutting the line, and I feel like it would be kind of insane to have like a brand new ride opening. We don't have a queue yet for Spider-Man, but I'm thinking about doing it. But like, I think it would be kind of insane if you have all these people moving at their own free will, and everyone's like trying to get this like one row, and then now you have all these people like standing like in one line, like there's 20 people waiting in line for a 4-seat row, and it's just like a mayhem of everyone trying to get in the seat, and then it seems messy without it.
So okay, I know it's a controversial thing, and we kind of did something not very good recently with the queues. So we've been discussing what we can do to remove queues, because queues have been not necessarily fully remove queues. I don't mean like completely remove them, but we were trying to think of different ways we could monetize Universal without, having people wait for a queue, because that's kind of that's annoying. And one of the things that was very annoying and like that annoys me is every time I go to the park with a group of friends or something, like I randomly join a group. The same thing happens every time where everyone gets in like the queue or whatever, and then everyone gets separated and everyone has to wait for each other. I think it's stupid. And so we're trying to think of ways to remove the lines or make them better. So like one of the solutions right now is to just completely make it fast. Like they're like the max amount of wait time is like 2 minutes or something. Like the interval is like 5 seconds and it just, or like 10 seconds. It keeps letting people through and it's fast, right? So Express is literally just like an incentive to, not wait 2 minutes. I don't want to make it excessive. Like when we used to have the queue and it was just like The Walking Dead when we were experimenting with it, there was like actual 20-minute waits. That's ridiculous.
35.
There was like 35-minute waits for Finn Journey. It's just
I waited like an
fair.
hour once, I think. Like it was a long time. And I think
I think the
idea of
worst
it shorter.
that I got was at Horror Nights. I think it's one of the things people complain the most. It's like the thing with Horror Nights was like it's really cool bringing all these good things of the theme parks, but bringing the queues like bringing one of the worst things of theme parks.
Yeah, it was a questionable decision. A lot of people. Okay, what I find weird is that once the queues are like done, or like once the event finished, like Halloween Horror Nights, people would always be like, but the lines, dude. It was like a thing that people would talk about, which I thought was funny. But they definitely shouldn't be as crazy as they were before. I don't think they should ever be
I know
that
you
long.
reduced the time, but I remember originally it was like maybe 30 seconds.
Oh, it was bad.
And that was
Yeah.
I think at the end, I was like, that's horrible.
Yeah, because the thing is, what happens is our game isn't as popular all the time. So when we got really busy, it got really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we
well-
didn't work with it that
Yeah,
well.
that's the other thing. That's the other thing with queue system. It is like if something can so in the moment something like you need everything to work correctly, something will break always. And usually it's a queue system if it's there. And the
I
thing is that if the queue breaks, no one can get into your ride.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think if people were to keep queues in their rides, I think it's a great idea to add a party system to where this could be added to Universal. Like you guys, it'd be really cool to have like because there's already parties in Universal. I think they're still there. I remember them.
We got rid of them, and there's like
Oh.
a friend. You can join your friends, but we are re-adding a party system in the future.
Yeah, I think a party system really cool with the queues, which where like you go through the queue with your party. So like once one person, the front person in your party goes through, the entire party comes through.
Yeah, that's
So you
what
don't
we're
have to
gonna
wait.
do.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, if we can find a solution that makes we can avert the express to something else, then we will just make the queues walk through instead, or maybe instead of the manual queues, we just make it so you have to physically walk more than the express side. I don't know. I don't know. I would prefer that you get full control over the player again, and that we don't have to do anything with the parties breaking people up. I think the whole point of the parties would be so you can stay together when you go from teleport to teleport to teleport, etc.
Yeah, I like something, for example, how Forbidden Journey, how it's more like it's like most of it is walking. It's a bit too long in my opinion in a way, but it's like I think it's good to just if you want to just put a queue, just have them walk, but don't make it too excessive. And also, please, people, don't slow characters down.
I know it's annoying.
That puts me on the nerves. Okay, so moving on. Blocks asks, are there any parts that you think should have more attention or praise?
Astral Lakes by far.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think
Astral Park.
Blue Sky Slayer needs its popularity back. Like, I
Are
don't
they
know
still
if it's
updating
still
it?
I
No,
don't
the
think so.
project's dead.
Does it still run? Like, does it still work? Because I remember that game was awesome.
So the thing is that so I used to use this. So I bought the system in that. So the C-frame system in that thing. It's a bit as again, it's C-frame systems have their good things and bad things. It breaks sometimes it doesn't. But I know the last thing they released was Indiana Jones, which wasn't fully finished. But I know they wanted to release it because they knew they didn't work on it. In my opinion, it's a big shame that project died because I know some of the things they were
Yep.
doing, and it's actually curious to see some of the devs they used to have. It's funny because a lot of big Roblox devs come from the theme park community.
yeah,
funny when you
it's
think
actually
about it.
it's actually funny thinking, oh look, this person who did Jailbreak used to make coasters, or this
Right.
person who made Death Run was working on like World of Color.
This is
Oh yeah,
that's like
Wesley.
yeah. So that's a good point though, because like that's what I love about the theme park community so much is like it's just like it's like such a diverse group of skill levels among developers. And when you're just starting out as a new developer, theme parks are a great way to get into just Roblox development in general. And that's what I love about it so much.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to answer this Grapey or Procro. Cedar asks, what is the hardest thing on the spider? Sorry, what is-
Animations.
I would, yeah. Well, that okay.
Well, no,
can't-
I think
can't speak on
it's
animation.
actually getting Grapey to accept my calls.
Okay, I'm a busy man. Okay, I'm a busy man. But I would say I can't speak on the animations because I don't animate, and I know it's definitely hard because that's a lot to animate. But I, for my personally, I would say like as a team thing, it'd be like properly planning the ride, especially from the beginning, because we had a hiccup where when we were transferring from flat screens to where we had planned on doing video frames to when we decided to do 3D scenes, we had to reconfigure the entire layout of the ride because it's like some of these
Oh
scenes
my
are so
gosh.
big that they wouldn't fit because we had originally like designed the ride to follow the exact layout of Spider-Man. And it's still so whenever we decide to change the 3D scenes, there's some scenes that were deeper than obviously than a flat screen, so the ride would go behind it and it would collide. So we'd have to like alter the layout a little bit. And honestly now, like, because I honestly forgot that we even had to do that. Because looking at it now, it doesn't even look like we had to change anything. Because we had spent so much time trying to make it as close as possible that we could, like as close as possible to the original layout, so that like it's not obvious that it's not following the normal layout if to the average person who's ridden the ride before. And that was just so difficult because it was so painful having to like we had to make a whole new place and individually copy and paste every section of the ride back into the game and reconfigure the entire layout of the ride. And then Pro had to go back in and redo the entire ride animation.
Don't forget, I had to animate the entire flying scene, which I still have to fix. But
Right, and so he had Pro had originally animated the ride scene for the normal layout. And so once we had to move everything, Pro had to redo the entire ride layout, which took so long. It's such a
motivation blocks.
Still not done.
Still not done.
Okay, so I think we'll do one more question. And it's not one of the most voted ones, but I was looking through all the questions. And I think this is an interesting one. So Mikey, the game master, asks, was there any original ride ideas you had at one point?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've definitely had phases where it's like I've seen a ride and it was like I love this concept of a ride, and then I go on like a tangent for like a week and a half of like making my own dark ride or something and being like this is how it's gonna go and then never finishing it. I don't know of any. I can't remember any though.
I think trying to do like when I was working on parts like Bloxworld or Disney Ways, I think like I really appreciated like I managed to appreciate like all the like work into like getting a good story for a ride. And it's not that trivial. Getting ideas, like good ideas, is hard without like you can base it off something, but it's like really hard to just like instead of basing just try to recreate and just change something and say, oh no, it's custom. So I think it's yeah.
Most of the stuff we've been working on, the Universal team directly, it's mostly inspired by real life stuff, but it's still like a completely original layout and original like setup. But that's kind of where we're going for future stuff.
If I say anything, the power will kill me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me finish the Q&A. So I think that's everything for today. Once again, I would like to thank everyone who has been here, all the people in the chat, of people who were in the chat, and especially to Grapey, Andrew, Procro, and Tepale, and also to Naplet, who sadly couldn't make it. But this has been all for today. I don't know if any of the people here would like to say something before we close today's event.
Yeah, I would just like to announce that. And I'm joking.
Oh no! Just
Oh,
give me some
Check for
anxiety. Oh no!
Guys, put hashtag check for the in the chat, please.
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
say this to talk. I've really just been here to talk about Spider-Man, I guess. But first of all, it was really great being here. I love talking about. I could literally talk about this all day. And I really like the enthusiasm of a lot of people. Really, I'll get to the Spider-Man thing, but I like the enthusiasm of people when like now trying to build new parks, because a lot of things have been. A lot of tools and stuff are more mainstream, because I remember starting out and being like kind of on my own, because there weren't a lot of resources to go through and to get, and there weren't a lot of people who were making theme parks at the time, like 2-3 years ago. And I've seen it grow like a bunch, and it's way better now, like trying to get started out, because we have groups of people who will help you and will like give you tips on how to do better, and like exactly why we're here today. But yeah, but the Spider-Man thing, we are planning on another teaser. Planning, haven't even started, but planning. So that's what I was gonna say. But yeah,
It's been nice. It's been nice to be. It's in the building. Sorry, it's an inside joke. I was told. He said it. He said it. No. It's been good to do this. This is a lot of fun. I like talking about Roblox theme park stuff. I'm sure we could do this at some other point again in the future. But yeah, I had some fun.
Thank you for having me. I just want to say something real quick. Just have fun. Stop, getting into fights with people. It's supposed to be a fun thing to do, building stuff on Roblox. So, take your time, don't rush, and keep learning. I think that's the biggest tip I can have to anyone.
And I guess I'll say something too. I mean, thanks for having me on here. It was great talking all Roblox teamwork stuff with you guys. It was just like really fun for the past 2 hours, just listening and hearing what you guys were saying. And I guess just in general is just seeing like just being here with you guys is honestly just really cool, because like me like 4 years ago, like I would have never imagined like not too much on the Roblox community. So this has been really great. Thanks, guys.
Epic.
Okay, so I think, well, just before everyone leaves, once again, thank you. This was my first event. I'm actually quite happy with it. I think, well, you should probably have already received the email. It's automated, but there's a questionnaire with what you guys have, what you think about the event. I would really appreciate it if you guys answered it. It's a really big way for us, in my case, the event organizer, to get feedback from the people who were in the event. And there's also a question I added, that if in any case I did more events like these, which developer you would also like me to add or to have in this chat. So yeah, thank you everyone. I will upload. We'll probably let you know where this will be uploaded. It will probably be uploaded my YouTube channel. And I try to upload it as soon as I can. So thank you everyone. Thank you Grapey, Andrew, Awesome, and Procro, and Tefale, and also thank you to Nape, and hashtag bring Shrek 4D back.
All right, see you guys later, guys.
See you guys.
Epic.
Gotta end it on the epic note. See you guys.